In today's video, I'm going to be creating my own personal criminality weapons tier list. Alright, starting off with the brass knuckles. These, they're not that good. It's a step up from fist, but other than that, it's not that good. Alright, shiv. It goes in front. Oh wait. Yeah, it goes in front of knuckles because it causes bleeding at least, and it takes very little stamina. Alright, next up is wrench. Wrench is really good. I'd honestly, it's B or A tier. It's A tier because it's so cheap. You can find it at a scrap even. You can concuss really easily if you just aim up slightly, and it's just amazing. And it takes very little stamina. Alright, next one is bayonet. Bayonet used to be really OP, and I think it got nerfed at some point. It's still pretty good, so I'd put it at B tier. It takes more stamina than shiv, but does a lot more damage. So it's pretty good. Next up is crowbar. Crowbar is underrated, honestly. It's in front of bayonet because the reason why it's top B tier because you can swing like 5 times with one full stamina bar, or 6 times. I think even more maybe. It takes way too little stamina in my opinion, but it is really light to be fair. But also the fact that you can concuss and it swings really quickly, so it's pretty good. Next up is shovel. It's middle C tier. It's overrated to be honest. Like sure you can concuss, but that's if you either have really good aim or you just get lucky. If you don't concuss, it's horrible. Unless you have rage, then that makes it really OP. But rage, it shouldn't have to rely on something to be good. Alright, next one is wooden bat. Easy A tier. Come on. Okay, easy A tier. The reason why I say this is because it's just so good. Like, it's so good. I actually used to think metal bat was better, or worse actually, but I found that out. But nah, this is easily one of the best melees in the game. Alright, next one is Taiga Machete. Bottom of A tier. It can cut off heads, takes low stamina. You don't get a slow debuff, it's pretty good. Next one is Fire Axe. Bottom of B tier. Sure, it can cut off heads in one shot, but the hitboxes are a bit janky in this game, so it's a bit of rolling the dice. Alright, next up, metal bat, S tier. Don't even need to talk about it. Katana, top of A tier. Not S tier. Katana is really good, but it's not as good as metal bat, and the reason why is because sure, you can swing really fast, sure it can cut off head on the 3rd shot, but metal bat can block anything, even the shovel. Besides Fire Axe, but other than that, it can block anything, and it's just so good. Katana can block anything besides, I think, wooden bat and middle bat, and shovel. And probably crowbar, I'm assuming. It can't block all of the things as metal bat can, but it's still a really good weapon, does a lot of damage. But if someone knows how to use the metal bat, a metal bat will easily clap a katana, even if a katana is using a rage. Next up is chainsaw, D tier. Horrible. Literally so bad. Like, you can't chase anyone with this unless they're literally like walking at a snail's pace. Like, it's so bad. It's more of a weapon just to use for fun. Alright, finally we're on guns. Alright, Beretta, easily A tier. And the reason why is because it has such little recoil. So little recoil, as long as you put it in semi. So semi mode is way too OP because of how low the recoil is. It's like anyone can use it, and its damage is very little, but it's just really good. It's just a really overall pretty balanced weapon. Besides the recoil should be higher, but other than that, it's really good. Glock is top of B tier. It's not in its former glory when it had 17 shots, but it is still very viable and very good. Next up is DB, bottom of S tier. It's so cheap, you can find it at a trash bags. and it does very, very good damage. However, it's high risk and high reward since it only has 2 shots in its, I guess, magazine. And it has a pretty semi-lengthy reload. It's not too long, but it's not exactly too short. Overall, really, really good gun. RVVZ, please nerf shotguns. Alright, next one is Uzi. Above DB. The reason why I say this is because if you can control Uzi's recoil, you are a god. Literally, almost nothing can stop you, unless, of course, like a shotgun. But it can stop AKs with its really high fire rate. It can stop UMPs, M4s. It can stop a lot. Especially, it can stop an Ithaca easily, because if they miss their first shot, it has a really lengthy pullback, a pump back. So by the time they pump back, you could fire like 4 shots with the Uzi. I'm just guessing, but it has a really high fire rate, so it's pretty good. Alright, next one is Tech 9. Above Beretta. Also, I'm going to put all the guns in the back because this is like a whole other section. So Tech 9 is really, really good. Currently top of A tier, but I would not say... You know, I'm going to dock Uzi down to top of A tier. Tech 9 is really, really good. In terms of how little... It's like Beretta, but just 10 times better. That's really all you need to know about it. More bullets in a mag, less recoil, more damage. Yeah, just everything's better about it. Just a higher price, obviously. Alright, 1911. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I hate this gun. But if you know how to use this, it is amazing. So I'm gonna put it behind Tech 9. It is really good, but I don't know, 8 rounds in a mag, it's really, really small. But other than that, it's really good. Has high damage. Recoil is not too high, but it's controllable. And it has very accurate. Probably one. I think it's one of the most accurate guns in the game. I'm not too sure. Alright, next up, Mac 10, literal dog trash. First C tier gun. Completely useless from anywhere farther than 10 feet. It's so bad. The iron sights are dog trash, so don't even think about aiming. It's really only good. It only shows its true goodness, I guess if that's a word, at close range. It shreds at close range, but it's so bad at anything else. So yeah, it's just a bad gun. Ithaca, behind DB. The reason why is because it has a really slow pullback, a really slow equip time, and a really slow reload. So by the time the DB is able to pull out and shoot both of its shots, the Ithaca will barely be taking it out and probably finally be able to... It can probably fire 1 shot and do a pump back by the time the DB is able to fire all of its shots. And also equip. So it's good, but it's not the best. Deagle? Dude, I don't know why people complain about the Deagle, bro. It's so good. This might just be biased, but it is really good. I'm gonna put Deagle at behind Uzi. Probably one of my favorite guns in the game. Just personal opinion. Not the best, I definitely know that. Recoil was... You know, I'm docking it down to B tier. In front of Glock. It has really high recoil. But other than that, that's really the only downside. It does high damage. Oh, and it has a low mag capacity. It's pretty expensive. And it takes up 3 slots. A bit too much in my opinion, but yeah, it takes 3 slots, which is pretty big. Even though it's relatively the same size as the Tech 9, but oh well. Yeah, but it's just an overall pretty good gun. If you know how to aim, it's gonna be your favorite. Tommy gun? Man, I do not like this gun. It is just not good to use. It really isn't. Top of B tier. Nah, actually, middle B tier. The reason why, it has such a slow fire rate for a 50 round drum mag Tommy gun. And its damage is eh. I mean, it's good, but it's not, like, nothing to talk about. It's really expensive, standing at 3K. But And also the recoil is really, really, really high. Especially for something that fires 9mm, but I guess it's just for balancing issues. But I mean, if it had a faster fire rate and less recoil, dude, this thing will be top of S tier easily. Next up is AK. Behind the DB. The AK has 30 rounds of 7.62, which is really strong, or unless it's 5.56 or something. I don't remember what the AK-74U has or whatever this is. But it is really good. If you can control the recoil and manage it, and you can hit your shots, it is good at close range, mid-range, and long range. It is good in anything. Just overall a really good gun. Alright, next up, we have the machete. Last melee, huh? Alright. Machete is gonna go at in front of the Taiga. It's basically just a Taiga, but it's stronger. It has a bigger hitbox, and it's more expensive. Other than that, nothing really changes too much. Next up is Serbu. Easily in front of the DB, dude. It has more shots. It fires quicker than the Ithaca, and it has a pretty fast reload. And it's also really cheap. 900 is not a lot for a gun with this much power. But yeah, it's just a really good gun. MP7, I don't find myself using this too much, but it's really good. I don't know why. I don't use it. It's really good though. Probably because of the high price point, but other than that, it's really good. I'm going to put it behind the Uzi. The MP7 has a really high fire rate with a 25 round mag, which it's pretty good. Recoil is relatively low if you can control it. The recoil is mediocre. It's not great, but it's not bad. And it has good damage. It's a pretty good gun. I would say take the Uzi though, because the Uzi has a higher, I think equal, if not slightly lower fire rate, with 5 more rounds, and it's cheaper. So, I'd recommend. Magnum, dude, I also have a bias for this gun along with the Deagle. Bro, I have to put this at S tier. Behind everything else. The reason why is because, dude, this gun is so damaging. If you land a headshot, you have, I think it's 60 or 70 damage. Boom. Just like that. So good. So good. Now, if you have bad aim, this gun is not going to be your favorite. Also, I'm docking down Mac 10 to D tier because it's just that bad. Along with the Glock, it's top of C tier. It's good, but it's not great. It's just okay. Alright, UMP. Top of B tier. It has a really slow fire rate with really good damage. Same price as MP7 at 2,500. But its fire rate just ruins it, dude. It's so slow. Dude, this would be easily S tier if it fired at the speed of, let's say I don't know. If it fired at the speed of the M4, dude, this thing would be God tier. But it doesn't. Alright, next up, we have the M4. It's gonna go behind the AK. The AK is just much better than the M4. It's slightly less accurate, but does much more damage. Has a slightly less fire rate, but again, does much more damage. The M4 is good, but the M4 is good and shreds way quicker, but I would not say it's good as long range, because I don't think you're going to be full on M4 spraying from like 500, or not 5, but like 200, 300 studs. I don't think you're going to be doing that. AK you won't either, but you're going to be tapping, and if you can hit your shots with the AK, you'll do much more damage, which is a lot better than doing like I don't know, 40 damage with the M4 compared to the AK when you do like 60. Next one is the M320. This thing is not that good, to be honest. It's gonna go C tier. It's good against big gangs if you just want to get that easy XP and you can just shoot a GL in front of all of them, or say finishing a like a 1k bounty or something like that, or just anyone. You can just do that with the M320, but that's the thing though, it's just not that good. It has 3 different firing modes: explosive, gas, and I think smoke. The smoke and tear gas still do damage on impact if you hit them directly though. It's just not that useful. You couldn't run this unironically without like a secondary, like a Tech 9 or like a Beretta, Magnum, anything that's actually good. This gun alone is just, this grenade launcher alone is not that good. Alright, it seems this is a really old version, or a really old tier list, so I'm just gonna have to go ahead and Photoshop the RPG. The FNP, really not that good, to be honest with you. It just really isn't. So it's gonna get a respectful C tier. It's just not that good, it really isn't. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna move it to B tier. Behind everything else though, because it really isn't that good, dude. Like, the sights are just like, sometimes they just don't even work in terms of like where you shoot, it just won't shoot there. And the damage is good, but it has a really like weird fire rate and a lot of drop, so it's alright. Alright, next up we have the Rambo knife. Rambo knife is really good. I'd put it, okay, so let's say, hold on, wait, let me just size it right. It's gonna be B tier, or A tier rather. I put it in front of the, or no, I put it behind Taiga. It's good and it does a lot of damage, and its fire rate is almost the same as the bayonet, but it takes a lot of stamina, I'm not gonna lie. Just for a knife, it takes way too much stamina. But it's for balancing issues, so I understand. But yeah, it's a really good knife. Alright, next up we have, oh, the RPG. Again, it's just the worst version of the M320. This is much worse, actually. The only reason I should catch you actually unironically using this is if you're trying to take down a huge bounty. Other than that, this thing sucks. It's just too bad. Like, you can't run this without a secondary of some sort. And if you think about running it with armor, actually for real, not thinking about just like losing it, yeah, good luck, bro. Actually, I'm talking it down to D tier because it only has 2 rockets total, not even like on reserve, total. I mean, it does a lot of damage, but it's just not useful. It's very situational. Alright, next up we have the mare. This again, another item that running solo is just not a smart idea, or not running solo, running alone with just a mare and like a metal bat or something is not a smart idea, because I mean, once you're out of those 5 shots, it takes like 20 million years to get like even 1 shot in. So yeah, you're basically fucked if you use all your shots and someone rushes you. But other than that, it's pretty good. Especially if you get on tower and you know the bullet drop, you can land some sick headshots like I did in this one video. You should go check that out, by the way. But it's alright. It's alright. I'd put it in front of the M320, but you know, Photoshop. Alright, the last weapon we have are the nunchucks. C tier. No, this is B tier, B tier. These aren't that good, I'm not gonna lie with... These aren't that good, I'm gonna be honest with you. They just really aren't. Like, they take up 3 slots, so they take up as much space as a wooden bat. That's just kinda dumb. And then... they're really, like... I don't know how to explain this. They're just... I don't know, the damage is alright. The the one hit stun, like guaranteed if you hit a headshot, it's alright, but most people suck and won't hit a headshot unless they get lucky or something. But other than that, it's mediocre. It's not that good. It's not useless, but it's not that good. And that's my tier list, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching this bad video, and I'll see you guys later.